Last week was week 6 of this bathroom makeover, and I was able to fully face frame the base cabinet / vanity, add the decorative toe kicks, and cut all of my boards for my doors. After showing you how I created the tongues and grooves for my shaker style doors, I began assembling them. I shared the stain samples I had bought over on my Instagram stories a couple of weeks ago, and the majority still preferred the lighter option, which was actually my least favorite. Although a subtle difference, this is how it went from this to this. Now it was time to focus on building my drawers. Remember, I have one drawer that is slightly smaller than the other two, so I had to make sure and keep that in mind for when I did the measurements and cut out my pieces. To learn how to space out your drawers, I'll have a link in the description with a short on how you can do that. Typically, I use 1/2-inch plywood for drawers because it's lighter, but I didn't have enough scraps to build them out of, so I used the 3/4-inch birch scraps that I had instead, so that I didn't have to buy a whole sheet. Once all of my boards were cut to size, I ran them all through the table saw twice to create a 1-inch groove for the bottom board. I also created pocket holes on the cross shorter pieces and cut my bottom boards to size. I assembled the drawers, leaving one of the shorter sides for last because to me, it just works easier that way. I'm gonna start on the bottom drawer. In my head, I'm thinking that's probably gonna be the easiest to be able to like stack and have something to use as a spacer. And remember, we're not going to sit it flush, but we're going to sit it right at the face frame. I need it to go further back 3/4 of an inch. Go ahead and secure this front one. And then I'm going to go get my level. Once the front screw was secured using my level, I made sure the rest of the drawer pull was level before securing the back. You could see that after securing each drawer slide on each side, then I would place my drawer inside the space and make sure it was level in order to determine where to secure it to. I repeated this until all of my drawers were installed. I was putting together the last set of the bigger doors, and then I came across a big costly mistake that I just made. And I'll show you what that costly mistake is. Thank you to Jafonda for partnering with me in today's video. I've talked to y'all in the past about Jafonda and how they are striving to create cleaner and better air for you. They were kind enough to send over their JF180 desktop purifier. The JF180 purifier removes PM 2.5, smog, VOCs, and other pollutants. With its dual-in technology, its purification efficiency is 40% higher compared to other purifiers because it draws into two sets of filters, one on the right and one on the left. Its filters are high iodine activated charcoal in a honeycomb through hole structure, which makes it 50 times stronger than the conventional sponge filters. The JF180 is great to use in a bedroom, or you can use it on a desktop like I've been using mine. Not only is it a purifier, but it also has a bladeless fan that helps to instantly cool the area without the need for cleaning any accumulated dust like any traditional fan. That's not the only thing the JF180 comes with. It also comes with an aromatherapy diffuser at the same time to get clean, fragrant air freshening. You're also able to set the mood with adjustable, colorful ambient lights. To check out the Fonda JF180, you can find the link down in the description or pinned in the comment section. Now back to work. I was going through my notebook, checking to see which pieces went together before I went to put them together. So I went over here, grabbed the pieces that I needed, and I realized when I go to put these together, because I always put everything together before I secure it, just to make sure everything fits, obviously, you will notice that it surpasses the 4 3/4 inches that I need it to be in height. And there's no center, there's no space for a center 1/4 inch board. I spent over $300 just in wood for the doors specifically. That's not including the rest of the plywood and whatever. One of these boards alone is 2.5 inches. 2.5 plus 2.5 is 5, and I only got 4 3/4 to work with, right? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pieces that go across here, which are my rails, and I'm going to trim off some of the edge to at least have some kind of a gap here for my plywood, and to be able to at least be able to fit it in this 4 3/4 inch space. I'll come back to you guys once I've got it figured out and I trim all of the boards down. I figured out how to go ahead and fix my issue that I had. So I ended up deciding taking these two pieces, aka my rails, and cutting them down to 1x2s. And all I had to do was remove a 1 inch from the outside edge of each of those boards. So I ended up having a drawer front that looked just like this. And as you can see, it looks perfectly fine. I'm still obviously a little bit annoyed with the time wasted. It just took a longer process than it needed to. I could have been done with all of these already, and I could have had them ready to be sanding and staining and wood filling and all of that. I only have 3 sets of clamps, so it's a process to be able to get this many doors set and ready to remove the clamps and set them for the next ones. But let me show you what the longer faux drawer front looks like. It's the exact same design, it's just obviously longer because it's a longer faux drawer front. So that's what that looks like. And then this is the short one that'll go right in the middle. The doors are a work in process. While I wait on that, I'm gonna go ahead and start the prepping and staining process inside the restroom and hopefully seal it as well. Since I am using water-based products, those dry fairly quickly compared to oil-based, and I can get moving a little bit faster. With that issue resolved, I moved on to wood filling all of my nail holes on the base cabinet. While I waited on the wood filler to dry, I came and sanded down the adjustable shelves to get them ready for stain. I added these cup hooks so I could hang them in hopes that it would make things a little bit easier. Once I wiped off the dust, I added a water-based wood stain conditioner and Once it sat for 5 minutes, I wiped off any excess and then began staining 20 minutes later per the instructions on the stain. The stain that I am using is called Red Mahogany by Behr in their water-based stain collection. It is a very deep, rich brown with red undertones, which was exactly what I was going for. Now that I've got everything wood filled, I'm going to go ahead and start sanding everything down so we can start the staining process. I'm done sanding. I'm gonna go ahead and use my water-based wood conditioner. It's not really necessary. You don't really have to use a stain conditioner with hardwoods like oak. Oak is a hardwood, but I figured it'll just ensure 100% that we'll get even coverage and it won't be splotchy at all. Hardwood tends to absorb stain very evenly, but I just want to do it just to be safe because I don't want any risk of blotchiness. Yeah, this is a very expensive vanity that I've built here, and I just don't feel like it's worth the risk for me if I just take the extra step of adding the wood conditioner. That's all I could get to this week since the remaining 4 days of the week I had to travel to LA for business. So let's go ahead and go over the project costs. Our previous total was $2,533.63, but since then I purchased the cabinet hardware for $69.25, a laser level for $63.87, which I thought came with a tripod, but it didn't. Nonetheless, it would be a huge help for laying out the tile. I also ordered some live support struts for $10.81, which I will use on the door for the laundry chute section. I bought cabinet door hinges for $75.76, an additional 2 faucets, the same as the last except in gold since I wasn't sure which I would end up going with, for $123.38. They were slightly more expensive than the black ones. I also ordered some water-based wipe-on poly for $20.55. Remember, I had already ordered the oil-based one, but that was before deciding on the stain color. Speaking of stain, I bought a quart for $17.84 and the same brand pre-stain wood conditioner for $19.90. And the last purchase made this week was the drawer slides for $81.96. I did buy the full extension 16-inch soft close kind, which are a little bit more pricey, bringing our total to $3,016.95. I hope to see you back next week for another round of updates and continued progress. As always, I love y'all, be kind, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye.